about a few days ago, Ben Affleck, being the badass he is and playing Batman, he released a little bit of footage of none other than Deathstroke, a live-action Deathstroke. And then the camera kind of pans around to show that it's like on a movie set. A lot of people are like, holy shit, is he going to be in Justice League? But no, they announced he is going to be the main villain in the next Batman movie. And is being played by Joe Manganiello, or whatever his name is. From what I heard, I guess he was in the Magic Mike movies, and he was actually a pretty good actor. I've never seen those movies, because, well, I don't like men. But this is exciting news, because Deathstroke is an amazing character. He can go hands up and toe-to-toe physically with Batman. He's also a very smart, cold, cunning, calculated, basically killer, because he's an assassin for hire, which is a nice little dynamic against the Batman being a, well, super intelligent detective. This is going to be quite the mashup in my mind, and I really like Ben Affleck's Batman, and I think this is going to be quite amazing to see. Now, I don't know if this is going to tie in with the Robin and Nightwing, maybe, because if you are a comic book fan, you know Deathstroke made his first appearance in Teen Titans and was a main antagonist against Nightwing, which is Robin kind of grown up and having his own persona at that point. So, I mean, they did tease the whole Robin death scene of, is it Tim Drake, or was it, Dick Grayson grows up, Jason Todd, yeah, thank you. Because they showed Jason Todd's Robin suit after the blast and Joker killing him, so I wonder if they're going to tie in Dick Grayson and Nightwing and have him in the movie, and maybe we'll get our first glimpse of the Bat family in a Batman film. That'll be amazing if that happens. But I'm just psyched about this.
It would be cool to see them all, but they're gonna run it. I just think they're gonna have the same issue that they did for Dawn of Justice, is that they're gonna have to explain too much in this amount of time. Like, I was talking with somebody that liked the movie, and they watched it again, and had said they didn't even realize the first time how long the movie actually was. And it was, for a lot of different reasons, because of the explanations and everything else. I mean, it'd be cool to see, like, Nightwing and, you know, Tim Drake's Robin, if they do decide to do it. It's just one of... It's... For me... It's one of those things where it'd be cool to see it, but the explanation behind it is really a lot, because all three Robins had different stories. Dick Grayson was part of the Flying Graysons. His family was killed. Batman took him in. Jason Todd actually stole the hubcaps off the Batmobile. And Batman later, and obviously Batman thought it was oppressive and took him in after he left, and then obviously, and then Jason Todd was killed. And then after that, he picked up Tim Drake, and I can't really remember how. Did Tim Drake sneak in?
I don't remember.
I can't remember Tim Drake's.
I think he figured out who Batman really was. I think that might have been it, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it or anything.
Yeah, I just can't really remember, mostly because although I liked Tim Drake's Robin, he was not my favorite.
Yeah,
I just know that, like, at the beginning, what was it? Batman was really protective over Tim Drake when he first started.
Yeah,
he would never let him fight. He would never let him fight the Joker alone.
Would you blame him?
I think it's good. I can't think of who that is. Like, who?
I've heard he's a good actor, but all I've heard is that he was in the Magic Mike.
Is he like an older guy at all? Do you know?
He's like in his 30s.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't agree with that. And here's my reasoning for that, because Deathstroke's actually older. So Deathstroke Wade Wilson was a former military guy who had experiments done on him, much like Wade Wilson in
Deadpool.
And as Deadpool, he gets has this regenerative powers and stuff. The only problem is
he was younger though in Teen Titans. He was in his 30s.
In Teen Titans, yes. When he started fighting the Batman, he was not. He was closer to his 50s. But you would never know. But it always showed him as old as that he looked older. Like he had gray hair. He had gray and white hair, even when he fought the Teen Titans.
Yeah. Thank God he was younger, because even then they still had that creepy storyline where he was messing with not Starfire. Who was the other chick in the 80s? There's 3 females in the Teen Titans. Who was? It wasn't Raven. It wasn't Starfire.
There was Raven, Donna Troy, and
I think it was her that he had a relationship with, which was kind of creepy.
That sounds odd.
Yeah, he was in a relationship with one of the Teen Titans, and they are teens.
Not really. They seem like teens, but they're not actually.
She was 16, if I remember correctly, in the book at the time. I'd have to pull out the book.
She was also Amazonian, so she wasn't actually 16.
But, I mean, it's the movie version, so in movies like to adapt and change a few things. They're still going to keep him probably around the 30 years old mark. Probably even grow a little bit of his hair and say it's because of the experimentation, probably. But, I mean, they want somebody that they can use in probably multiple movies. Because who knows, he might end up in the next Suicide Squad. Who fucking knows. But,
I would seriously doubt it.
But, Deathstroke would be a good villain against the Batman. Because it's somebody that can actually go toe-to-toe. So once you show Batman beating the shit out of Superman, it's where do you go from here for a standalone villain? And, yes, Deathstroke is completely human, but Deathstroke is almost on par. He has physically went toe-to-toe with Batman and almost won numerous times. He is on par with his intellect and his physicality. So, I think that's a good matchup. Now, hopefully they'll pull it off. Now, I believe in Ben Affleck. He is writing the script. And I could actually see him bringing in Nightwing, because one, they've already hinted at it at Batman v Superman, at the Bat family. And you can do it in a couple throwaway lines if you write it intelligently enough that where fans will go, okay, and immediately introduce him and have him part of their, he's always been part of the Batman family. But, we're starting with a Batman already long in his career. So they can just throw in a few lines and say, yes, he was Robin at one point, and now he's Nightwing. You know what I mean? And then you can put it as him and Deathstroke having some history and Batman having to be involved. Possibly.
Maybe. Well, I mean, my only concern is, I get that Ben Affleck's writing the script, but as you said, Deathstroke was one of those ones, he was very physically fit, he had all of these crazy abilities.
Yeah.
But all the way down to it, he was this really smart, intelligent guy that could easily outwit any opponent he had, and
yeah,
in several different comics, almost killed Batman.
Yeah.
He's one of those villains that I'm excited to see. I just want him to see him done correctly. Now, for those that watch other shows, Deathstroke has already been seen.
Yes, he has.
Been seen in Arrow.
And I thought they portrayed him pretty well in Arrow. I really liked what they did in Arrow.
They really did show Deathstroke to be who he is, and I really do not want them to mess with that.
I was shocked they didn't get the guy from the show, to be honest, because I thought he was a perfect fit.
That's one of the other reasons, is that because you're also running into that same issue with doing the Justice League and not having the person that's playing the Netflix version of Flash, and or the TV show. Sorry, I forget that there's actual TV. And
I love that Flash. And I was not sold on that. I was with you on that 100% with the whole Flash issue. I was like, come on, man, get the guy from the show. Oh, shit, sorry. Everybody loves him. He does a phenomenal job of playing Barry Allen. What's his name? Grant? I cannot remember his last name. But to me, he is Flash, and I was not sold on this Ezra guy. But then I saw that trailer, and I really liked the direction they were going with it, so they kind of sold me on that. So I'm hoping, like, if you could sell me on that, and I was completely against it, and Ben Affleck is writing this and directing it, that gives me even more faith, like, okay, let me see what they do with it. Because this is one of my favorite villains. Like, he is a badass in every sense of the word. And like you said, he's intellectually the Batman's equal, physicality and intellectual wise. So this is going to be a very good matchup because he's going to fuck with Batman.
Yeah.
Like he'll get inside his head.
I just want to say that one of the viewers watching The Highland King, he said, sounds a bit creepy, but he won't be the standalone villain. Someone will have paid him to kill Batman. I mean, he is an assassin.
That's a good point.
Very true, and I did say that earlier, like, he is an assassin, and he's the best. Like, say what you will about, Deathstroke, but he is the best.
It's just one of those things that, because at the same time, you just have to figure out, because this guy's right, is that Deathstroke is an assassin for hire. He's also known for not actually following through. Like, there was a couple times that he's been known to continue hunting the Batman for his own thrill.
Yeah, I think Batman gives him the...
That was one thing. I'm just wondering, is like, if he was a hire, I just wonder who it would be, Yeah,
and even then, he can still play as the main villain, even though he was hired by another villain. And he can still be the main villain throughout the whole movie because he's trying to kill Batman. And somehow Batman keeps not, you know what I mean? And there's like a few fights throughout the entire movie of them trying to, you know what I mean? He's trying to kill Batman, Batman's trying to stop him. And then at the end of the movie, you find out, oh shit, he was hired by somebody else. And then boom, you set up the next movie.
Now he's the Highland King. Didn't he also go through a phase of being scared to use guns against Batman because it never went well, or is that Deadshot?
That might be Deadshot. I know.
I think that's Dead. Well,
no, it could be Deadshot, but I know Deathstroke liked to go hands up with Batman. Because he's the only one that really, next to Nightwing, offered a true challenge, and kind of like you said earlier, Monkey Pulse, a thrill. Like, to him, Batman was always... once he moved on from Nightwing, Batman was always his ultimate goal to take down. And I think that was more... It became more personal for Deathstroke.
I think she's, like, engrossed in her game.
She probably is.
I know.
So, but yeah, I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait. I heard they might do something like Arkham Asylum and have it in Arkham, which could be kind of cool. And that could set it up. I've heard a few theories say that they're going to use more than one villain. And if they do that route, I think Deathstroke might be one of them, or the main one in the place that sets Batman up and gets him trapped in Arkham. Almost like I've heard it could be like the Raid, but these are just rumors that I've heard. Some people that say they're insiders and rumors being leaked, so don't hold me to it. It probably won't be. But all we know for sure now is Deathstroke is in it, and he's going to be in a villain going up against Batman, and possibly the main. So this does get me excited because I can't wait to see. Because one of the good things about that BVS movie, because I was not a fan of it, was Batman and then the fighting Batman did. That warehouse scene, oh my god. So think about him and Deathstroke going at it like that. That would be fucking amazing.